struggle bus a little bit still today.
Clearly.
From our fun at Basscoast.
Oh, that's a rebrand and a half. Yeah. All right, let's get this party started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to After Hours at Blondie's, the podcast where we hot gossip, we rant, we rave, we talk music and EDM and news and events with my two best friends in the whole entire world. Papa Maze. Sorry, Maze. He's right. Get a Gilly.
You don't like Papa anymore?
No, I've never liked it.
You've never liked it.
Then don't be so Papa.
I don't know. Daddy just comes naturally. It's not
apparently it doesn't.
Remember what Denise said the other night?
Yes, I do remember what Denise said.
And my other best friend, Reid.
That's me.
That's her. All right. So this past weekend, where were we, fam?
We were in Merrit, breathing in all the dust we could handle.
Yeah.
If somebody said to me at one point, they're like, if you can survive this dust, you can go to Burning Man. And I was like, you know what?
I mean,
I think I
Yeah.
might go to Burning Man now if I can handle that.
Actually?
Well, yeah, actually.
Yeah, I would love to go.
I would love to go to Burning Man.
I'm going to definitely have to go.
The people that we were camping with were burners, and they were like, oh, you should come to Burning Man with us. And I said, oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's Tyree's Burning Man group.
As long as I got my baby weight.
Some of them, anyway.
Right,
I'm
just
alright.
like a little dust off one day.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Did you guys ever use the showers?
I did.
No, I don't shower at music festivals.
Disgusting.
I usually just rely on there being a nice body of water, and I just like sit in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It just
Cleanse
I feel like
you.
that's enough.
Yeah, well, you won't
I don't
get
need
that.
soap.
You won't get that at Burning Man.
That's why I'll have baby wipes. Well, they don't have showers there anymore. Well, actually, they do.
They do, yeah.
They'll have one at like a camp.
Yeah.
But not supplied, I guess, by Burning Man. They don't have like a
Yeah.
shower area. I don't
No,
think.
different camps.
But
will
we
bring their own
digress.
shower. Anyways, so showering aside, I did shower at Basscoast. It was lovely. It was $5, and they did not supply anything except for the water, which was great. You know, so you have to be prepared.
I think at times you could have bought, like, the first shower I did, they didn't have anything. But the second shower, they had soap and shampoo
you could purchase it.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was.
Anyways, we're not going there for the showers.
I was.
So did you shower every day?
Just the 2 days.
Just the 2 days.
Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna do it the Monday morning, but we just decided to leave instead, and thank God we did.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I think we just missed whatever you guys.
I sat in traffic
Dealt with.
coming home for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll get to that after.
Yeah.
What we are talking about today is Basscoast, which is a music festival based out in Merrit. It is put on by a whole bunch of people, namely the librarian. I'm sure you can name drop a couple more people.
I don't remember all their names.
Okay. Well, they're lovely. And
It started off, I believe, with two women in Squamish. They, the librarian being one of them. I forgot the other one. I'm not sure who else is involved now, but that's how it started. And it was, do you remember where we did those camping parties at Paradise Valley?
Camping for like 4.0?
No. Before that. Before all that. Like.
Oh, at
you
that
might not-
house?
No, you know what? This might have been before your time,
I
actually.
think so.
Yeah, I'm talking
before
like
we were
2012,
Little young
2013 range.
Yeah.
No, I
In
was
Squamish Valley.
spring chicken at that point.
I don't know if you've ever camped in Squamish Valley where they have that river there, very fine dust on the beach river.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
just along the Squamish Valley Road.
Yeah, so Basscoast started there.
Oh.
And actually the campsite says, they used to say the home of Basscoast. Right on the campsite's sign out front.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's where it started, and then the Squamish Nation, I believe, had some issues with the noise, and that's how everything always ends.
Always. The beginning and ending is always the noise.
But yeah, that's where it started, and it's been in Merrit ever
Vancouver.
since. It's been highly successful there, obviously.
Very.
It's been growing every year. They've added, seems
are
like
they
they
on?
add another 200 people to the capacity, if not more,
Every year.
since I've been going till now. Yeah, and I mean, I think they could hold even more if they wanted to, but I know they want to keep it
Yeah.
more
small
intimate, which is good. I
intimate.
prefer that. It's a plus.
I agree.
It's a plus.
Yeah.
Um,
So roughly
Yeah.
it's about what? I heard about 6,000?
6 was the number I heard. I mean, I believe it based on
the amount of people that
What
were
I
in
saw
the
there.
crowd and everything.
Love Basscoast.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it was great. I got there on Friday. I want to say around 3. Had 0 lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Like
lineup.
one car in front of me.
We love a good non-lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
That's
issues
amazing.
getting in.
No.
Everybody was friendly. Security was friendly. They just said, let me take a look at one cooler. We had like 4.
Yeah.
Take a look at one cooler. Oh, there's Gatorade and pop in there. They just literally open the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks fine. And then they open up a door. It's packed. Okay. Open up the other door. Packed. Okay.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Basscoast is a very mature, well-contained, respectable, everybody there is a little bit, it's a bad thing, but a little bit on the older side. You don't really see the young guppies running around 14 years old with, spoons in their hand. You really see the older crowd who has kind of gone through it and looking for that nice festival experience. I call it I would almost say they're rich wooks, they've got a little bit of money, but they still enjoy the festival aspect to it, but they're not there for the craziness.
In a sense, they have you kind of covered. They're not just out to gouge you for everything, and it's well organized. It makes me respect the festival and the space better, instead of feeling all right, are you kidding me? We paid this much for our ticket and we waited 22 hours in line. We paid to be here on this day early, and it's just chaotic, I don't know. I also saw their harm reduction or their
sanctuary
space, and I thought it was really, really good.
I thought that was really I feel that was a little bit more built up than last times that I've seen. Maybe just I haven't paid attention to it, but there are so many resources like that. They've got the harm reduction, they've got little shops, they've got the stages that are well set up, they've got a merchandise booth and everything like that. Things are established, they're well made, and they're well kept as well. I feel
You're not sitting in lineups to get in or out. Even on the way out, you're not backed up. We at that point we're just we want to leave. You know? We're gross.
When you want to go, you want to go.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just really appreciate that about that festival, because nothing's worse than sitting in lineups for hours to get in or out, or for food at a vendor. Those lineups weren't too bad as far as I can recall. I didn't have to wait more than 10 minutes.
Everything's reasonable. I think the size to staff ratio or size to organizational logistics ratio is pretty ideal. With how much room you need to get in and out of it, how much space there is there at the festival itself, the amount of staff required, the amount of stages there are, the number that they have of people there, and I know they keep expanding it. They have changed it from the first time that you and I went back in 2013 or whatever heck it was, 14, till now. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
I don't think you were there at that point. No.
Maybe 14 or whatever the first year we were at, 15 maybe. I don't remember what it was. Yeah. It was, you could tell the differences between then and now.
Even
the stages.
2019, I
exactly,
feel
yeah. The stages have expanded a little bit. Yeah. And they've rearranged things so that it's more open. Because I remember the first time I went there, for Sleigh Bay, Sleigh Bay was contained, and you had all these merchandise people all the way up the right side, instead of it being just open to the art, right?
Right.
So you went around it or through it to the other side to get to the cabin or whatever.
Traffic jam there.
Well, I mean, but it was smaller then. There was 4,500 that year, I think, or maybe even less.
Yeah.
Part of my burps here. But
bubble tea burps.
So what I'm trying to say is that as they've grown it slowly, incrementally, and they've made changes to adapt to that size, and I think that they do a great job of having the right amount of staff, the right amount of porta potties, the right amount of facilities, the right amount of camping space, the right amount of everything.
Are clean too.
Well, they clean them twice a day. They clean them twice a day, which is what you should be doing.
Amazing.
Yeah. And there's enough of them that there's hardly ever more than a 5 or so minute lineup that I saw.
God, remember when it?
Okay, you have to tell this story.
So
this is traumatizing.
Okay,
for the most part, the bathrooms are clean. Yeah. However,
nighttime's dark. People are getting extra weird.
At 1 a.m., people are getting a little funky, a little crazy. So I go into the bathroom.
We
perfectly fine
for the outhouse, and so
I go first because I really had to go. So I do my thing, do in out, and I go to leave the door, and I hold the door open for Rhea.
For me,
who's standing right behind me.
Yeah. And then this girl like budges in front of me and
She
just grabs it
dashes
like from
in.
another lineup, like not for those two outhouses.
No, we're in
grabs it and runs in, and I'm just like, okay,
I guess she maybe she really had to go.
Maybe she really had to go.
That's okay.
But and then so I'm waiting,
problem.
and then
2 minutes go by.
3
3 minutes go by.
She comes back out, and I'm about to go, and she stops me. She's like, "It's so bad in there. Like, oh, I don't even know. Like, girl, like." It wasn't me, like it's so bad in there. And I'm like, interesting, because my friend just was in there before you.
And I was not doing that all over the seat.
Well, yeah, so I go to open the door and there's shit on the seat. And I'm just like, really?
Like, you couldn't have taken the 2 minutes to, like, at least
I know it was you! Because I said to Blondie, I was like, so, was it clean when you went? And she's like, I had no issues. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going in there. And then, like, behind the outhouses, you can see everyone's coming in and out. I'm like, what's back there? I think everyone's probably just going to grass.
Popping a squat.
So I'm like, I'm going to go pop a squat in the grass. Like, I'm not going in there. So I, like, take a walk behind, and it's just, like, this really dark, shadowy triangle of people all just, like, hunched over, like zombies, you know? Like, you know, like, peeing. And I'm just like, ew, this looks like a piss graveyard. Like, people, it's like a bunch of, like, ghosts and stuff around there, and everyone's just quiet, like, trying to get their stuff off.
It's
and,
like a trench trough.
I'm like, ooh, this is, like, the dark side of festivals. Like, we're all just, like,
little goblins and
try not to make
gremlins
eye contact with each other. It's like so dark, and so I like sit down and I'm like peeing, and then this like extra long piece of grass like came up and like tickled my butt, and I was like, oh, and it was wet. I was like, what is that? And then the smell came, and I was just like, oh my god, like it stinks back here so bad.
So anyway,
pulled my pants up, got out of there real quick.
Lesson learned, just wait for a different outhouse, because they actually do clean them. I was very impressed.
Well,
I feel like
because of what I was wearing, I had like big frumpy pants on, like so many layers that even if I squatted over the seat, it's really likely that some fabric would be hanging.
Something's gonna,
or like there's just too much like frumpy clothes. If I had leggings and a tank top, nothing would be drooping. But
I just had my little outfits
it's
on.
very likely that something's gonna get brushed by.
I mean, overall though, I was very impressed with the porta potties, minus like maybe one or two that were a little bit stinky, but like.
Well, I mean, the festival does the right amount of work to keep them maintained instead of just letting it go. Mm-hmm. You know, there's always going to be exceptions with people such as your your friend that budged in there who claimed that somebody else. I mean, if that was the case, then maybe you would have dashed out before using it. But clearly it was fine.
It was okay.
Unless it was you. Unless it was you. Just exploding, ass exploding in the toilet.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's always exceptions, right? So
definitely. What we're trying to say is well-run festival.
It's a well-run
festival. Round of applause. We love Basscoast.
I mean,
I will go every single year.
I could probably spend easily half an hour to 45 minutes shitting on Shambhala, comparing it to Basscoast, and everything that Shambhala does wrong compared to what Basscoast doesn't.
Basscoast is just well curated, well maintained. They do it
become
right.
A little bit less fun.
Well, again, I think what's happened with Shambhala is it's become too mainstream and too big, and
they don't want to spend the resources in order to take care of it the proper way, is what I've seen.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. They'll like gouge you for like everything, then like
ice is $6 at Basscoast. Ice is $20 for the same bag at Shambhala.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, it's easier to get ice to Basscoast because there's a town right there. I get it. But at the end of the day, there's a huge difference
$20.
There. I remember going to Shambhala where ice was, I think it was $5 a bag,
which is what it should be. You know, fine.
Even if you had to buy 4 for like 20 or something like that, but still, you know, it was at least that's why the most recent time I went to Shambhala, I didn't buy that much ice. Because I was like, I'll just buy it there. Yeah. It's like $25 a bag or something, $20 a bag, and there's still lineups going down the block for it.
So, even, I mean, it doesn't really help, but a little bit helps is buying dry ice beforehand, and I think that's what I'm going to try and do. It's try some my ice.
Or get a really good quality cooler. That helps.
That too, like the Yeti cooler. Karina was really impressed with our cooler. Yeah, so I'm going to Shambhala this year, but I think it's going to be the last year. Like, everyone's going for the last time, and I'm anticipating I'm not going to have as much fun, but I'm going to be with my friends. It's going to be a good lineup, and that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I think,
anyways,
after my last experience at Shambhala and this last experience at Basscoast, the princess in me is never camping again. It's going to be an RV.
So many of our friends have been saying that.
It's going to be an RV.
Yeah.
Which I pushed for this year, and none of you fools wanted to go.
You know what? I'm down for next year.
I was okay this year, but next year, we'll make it happen.
And Shambhala, you just need to do it because you'll get to pay for Shambhala lodging, which means you're not going to go in that lineup, which I will also kvetch about very quickly right now. I'm just going to talk about the Shambhala lineup.
Please.
The amount of security for this no drugs, no alcohol festival. They search all these cars for like 45. You've got 20,000 people trying to get into this festival, including staff, etc., whatever.
Yeah.
And they're gonna spend a minimum of half an hour to 40 minutes per car searching it up and down, and everybody's getting high and everybody's getting drunk still.
Oh, and way more lit than they are.
In the lineup. And way more. In the lineup,
yes.
You're rolling up. You're drunk. They're like looking for your alcohol.
So the point I'm trying to make
you're like,
is,
it's in here.
The point I'm trying to make is Basscoast searches your car for 2 minutes, and off you go, and it's the same result.
Yes, exactly.
So why are we keeping people in that lineup for 8 hours plus, sometimes 12, 20 hours plus, in the heat? Half of them don't have air conditioning. If they could afford air conditioning in their car, they probably would be at Shambhala lodging and wouldn't be in that lineup in the first place. So you're killing all these poor wooks for no reason. And it's just stupid. Like it's a hypocrisy too, because we all know that the people in the artist camp or in the behind the stage or whatever, they're even selling alcohol. Like if you go VIP, there's a bar there with alcohol. So it's like,
I've heard in previous years what they take from the campers, they literally use it to
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, that would
but the hypocrisy is just it's very angering.
Yes.
Which is why I continue to rail on that fucking festival. Anytime I talk about Basscoast, it's because I compare it to all the flaws of Shambhala. Yes, Shambhala is an experience that you cannot replicate anywhere else. It is the best festival, arguably, in the world. When you're in it.
When you're there,
in it and participating in it.
You've made it past the line, you've bought your ice and cried about your money already, then you have a good time.
When you're in it, I mean, especially before, maybe a little bit less so now that it's gotten a little bit more mainstream, but you've never been to a place that's more open, where people are more in love with each other. There's so much self-expression. There's so much artistic expression.
So many things to see. So many people to meet. Everybody's open and friendly and family.
It's great. Like, and I know that's why all our friends like to do it all together. And it was like, you have to go where all of our friends are going to be there. Yes, I get it. I get all that stuff.
Yeah. That's what we love to do. We've done
9 hours there, 9 hours in a lineup, 9 hours to get out, 9 hours back.
$10,000 later.
And all the nonsense in between. They can do so much better.
So much better. So much. Come on.
They could do so much better.
Like, charge double and then, make their program for the people who can't afford it. That's fine. But like, if you charge double, you add the right amount of security, you add the right amount of infrastructure and personnel to handle that many people that you want to have there. And let it get a little bit better, because it is that good and it is that worth it. It
can be that worth it.
It can be. It really can.
Considering how much Shambhala is only maybe 20% more expensive on a regular ticket price than Basscoast.
Well, you're spending so much to get there.
But that's not what I'm talking about. But like, if you think about the relative cost between the relative festivals, Basscoast is a tiny festival compared to it's a fifth or less the festival that Shambhala is, and they charge almost the same amount. Why do they do that? Because they are paying for all the things to make the festival reasonably good at what it is. I think that Shambhala is, they already charge so much for their tickets, and you got to pay, it's like what, $500-$600 for your ticket. Then if you want to go a day early, it's an extra $100 per day. You want to go early.
$150 now.
$150. I digress. And then
it's adding up quick, folks.
But you know what I mean? Like it's you're already and Shambhala lodging is completely outrageous for what you're getting from it. But I get it.
500.
Yeah, but I get it. But I get it.
Yeah.
And they're removing a lot of the space that people used to go early for and turning that into Shamba lodging. So going early doesn't have the same benefits as it used to, and getting those spots in the trees or in the shade because they know that people are going to those spots, so they're going to create Shamba. It's now Shamba lodging. It's meta this, blah 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 that. You're going to pay extra for that spot to reserve it. And I get it. Do that stuff. Do it. For sure, do it.
But then take that money and put it into the festival and make it better.
Yeah, and you know, and I understand that, you know,
like maybe they're paying for the bigger artists, but they're paying for artists to fly into Basscoast too. Like my favorite set of the weekend was a guy from Munich, Germany, that they literally flew in to be there. Yeah. So it's not like, I mean, maybe like John Summit is going to be charging an arm and a leg, of course, but like, do we need John Summit at this big huge?
Well, for me, I would say yes. They need John Summit. They need people like that because that is the size of festival that it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shambhala is a different festival from Basscoast. Basscoast, you don't go there primarily. The driving factor is not primarily the music.
And that's what everybody says.
And I will go as far to say that this was the best Basscoast that I've been to for music, and it's not even close. It was extraordinarily good for music. That being said, there's still a lot of Basscoasty music there, but that's fine. You know, I got enough good music per day that I was fully satisfied on that front, if not more, if not then some, so that the music was not a complaint for me. But the reason you go to Shambhala primarily is it's a music festival.
It is.
And you get the premium artists, the local artists, the Canadians, the Bs, the Cs artists, all that stuff.
Everyone.
It has to have that range. If you're going to spend that much money and have that many people there and then just mail it in like they did last year on the artist front.
Oh, brutal.
And I get it. It was a first COVID festival. They couldn't afford to yada yada because they've been out of business. And I get it. The farm, the only thing that happens on that farm is Shambhala. Other than the farm, so it is their only driving income. I get that. I get all of that. You know, but you already charge way more. They're using more and more volunteers. The volunteers are obviously volunteer. They're not going to be as invested in doing as good a job as somebody who's getting paid to do it.
No.
And you know, all I'm just saying is that at the end of the day, Basscoast, pound for pound, does a much better job.
Absolutely.
For how small it is, you're talking 6,000 versus 16,000, you know, whatever official numbers, we're going to go conservative, optimistic, doesn't matter. It's at least 3 times to 4 times bigger than Basscoast.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like you're getting 3 to 4 times the value out of it.
No, not at all.
Let's talk more positive notes. Highlights.
Positive. Okay.
I want to go highlights.
Highlights?
So for you... You were saying that who's this German guy that you said?
Okay, so his name is maybe somebody else go. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay, I'll tell you one of my highlights.
Go ahead. Yeah. So
I think this was on Friday, and it was during the day. I'm gonna say I have it on. It was somewhere in the day during the day, like mid afternoon. And I was at Sleigh Bay, and I was like, okay, this is fun, whatever. I'm just gonna wander. I just left all my friends. You know, and this was early because everybody was still kind of at camp, or they were like in between the morning fun to not unpacking, but there's like, I think it was a Saturday actually. There's like the morning fun, and then people would go back to change for the afternoon, and then the evening fun. I think I was in that lull of people going back to change for the evening. And I was walking towards the cabin, and I was thirsty, so I went to the little general store that's by the cabin, and I was listening, and I was like, oh, what's this?
What's this? What is it?
Is that a little melodic progressive techno music over there?
Our favorites?
Let's find out what's going on over here. And so the artist in question, who I had no idea who this person was, is Rouse, I don't know.
Rousseau?
Rouz.
Okay.
All I know, which I found out
a
little bit after, is that it's actually
Rouz. Roos.
Yeah, Roos.
Yeah. Roos is Rouz.
Danny, I will ask you how to pronounce that later. Danny being Rumpus, because it's actually Rumpus's girlfriend.
Oh, no way!
Yeah,
there we go.
I will.
And Rumpus is another artist who plays at Basscoast.
He played a headlining set at the main stage. Anyway.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I saw all the initiative crew that was there. You know, Henry and JD and Ava,
Initiative
all
is
that stuff.
Independent.
So they were all there. They were all partying, and there's probably maybe I want to say 30 to 50 people at the stage when I got there at the beginning of the set, and she was throwing down some heavy tracks, and I was just losing my shit.
Snaps.
And the thing is, the rest of the crowd was so into it, and as soon as I was there, as people do, hurry up and get here. This set is amazing. Nobody came. Spoiler alert. None of my friends came. None of them at all.
Out of the tent,
None of them at all. Not a single one.
I was doing my best. I was hurrying as fast.
The pickiest person when it comes to music tells you to come to a stage. You fucking do it. Okay.
Anyways, lesson learned.
Anyway, by the end of the set, the stage was packed. From front to back, and standing ovations.
Wow.
Like, it was unreal.
Crazy.
Unreal. It was so good. And I was not expecting, and I had no idea who she was. And I was talking to Danny, I was talking to the initiative crew people, all those people. Chris was there.
Chris Corkle.
Chris Corkle, yeah.
Producer and DJ here in Vancouver.
Yeah. And yeah, we were all just minds completely blown.
That's amazing.
It was so good.
It makes me so happy. Like,
and yeah, go ahead.
Well, I believe they're from Victoria. I believe they live in Victoria, and like just the amount of talent that we have here, and then she's getting the spotlight like she deserves, and it's a good set. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And there's actually, like I said, there's a lot of good music. For me, another highlight actually was Rumpus's set. It was probably one of my favorites as well.
I really enjoyed that.
He killed it. He and I talked a lot actually prior to that set, the day before and the day of. So it was good. It was just nice to talk to him about like his concerns about the stage, and he's doing the drums and all the other stuff too. And
so for anybody that doesn't know, he brings instruments. So he's got a couple electronic drums. He's got some real drums.
Yeah.
He's got piano.
I think there's a keyboard too. Yeah,
some sort of
something like
piano.
that. Yeah.
It was I think this was the most amount of instruments that he said. Somebody said that he brought this year. Was that you, perhaps?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me,
maybe
but I mean, maybe I don't know.
Floated
But
downstream to me.
I don't know if I could officially say that. But I know that somebody said that it was the first time he did the instruments at Shangri-La.
Oh,
I think that was, and the first time he's played.
Because I remember his
with
set
the full setup
in 20. Did I go last year? I went last year. Yeah, so I remember his set last year, and I really enjoyed it because he brought all those instruments, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. So, but was he on main stage or was he?
He was at Sleigh Bay.
Sleigh, exactly. Yeah.
So this year he was at main stage
yeah.
on Sunday with all the other house DJs, and he kind of headed off that evening.
Right after the dancing stuff. They started off. He started off the night with that.
Yeah.
And him and I were talking like, because we were so floored by the sound system there, and we found out later that it's the new PK setup that they use, the same setup at Village.
Ooh.
As far as like that speaker,
which is really, really good quality.
It's just so good. Like
it sounded it's amazing.
Yeah, it's,
like
honestly, I would argue it's probably
impressed.
the best overall sound system I've ever heard at anywhere. It was either at Village or even there.
Agreed.
And his problem that knew he was going to face was that, are the real instrument sounds going to come through with how powerful and defined the high fidelity music coming through on top of it is coming through the bass?
Is it going to balance well? Is that what?
Yeah, and I will admit that his concerns were well founded because most of the drum sounds were kind of not very audible. You know, I think you could hear the cymbals. You could hear the cymbals pretty well.
I think my brain interpreted it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." And I was like, "Wait, can I actually?" I mean, it sounds great. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I could actually hear
the
too
whole
much.
performance was great, and
Amazing.
again, I could hear the cymbals, but I couldn't quite hear the regular. I don't know what the regular drums are called, or the bass part of it either. I felt like it wasn't balanced enough to really get that much out of it. But it was very interesting to talk to him about those concerns.
Yeah.
And actually see them come to fruition exactly like how he described it.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
you know, I just thought that was fun, and then. Yeah, and the other third highlight, and not to say these are the only times that the music was good, but these are like really stand out, unexpected things that happened was the other one was at I think it was like 3:45 a.m. or 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Baritone at the slow tempo.
Amazing.
And it was like a combination of like R&B remixes, like hip hop, you know, deep house, like just a musical journey, and the vibe there with like everybody there. It's like late night, early morning, whatever you want to call it, sunrise. Very early morning,
maybe 4 a.m.
Yeah, and that stage was packed. Like, just packed, so busy.
I think they could really, I really hope that they expand slow tempo next year, because last year they didn't even have music there. I don't recall. Maybe I didn't go at all. They did? Yeah. Oh, I missed that, because I was like, this is an amazing little setup. I would love to see more like little, small, intimate things in there. But
I always thought it was like just the yoga and stuff.
Same,
whatever.
That was my interpretation of it.
And the thing is too is that I did try to do yoga the next day. I think it was a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, and it was completely fucking packed. Like, people want to do that shit. So I think more room for that, or
they just
acknowledging.
Have to put it somewhere else if they wanted more room for it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow for much more space.
I know exactly for where that if they were to keep it there. Yeah, it's just.
That's a really interesting thing, because I didn't really think about the workshops as much, and then during the day I realized that there's so many workshops going on. Yeah. And so I didn't take
not
advantage
just there,
of everyone.
Also at the
so
cabin.
Many different
things,
stages. Yeah, like dancing workshops, expression workshops. Like there's education booth thing workshops. I really like that they put so much emphasis on like the workshops. There's more to do outside of music and partying.
Well, that's the point of Basscoast, is that it is not primarily a music festival. And I think that people told me that the Cantina stage was the same setup as it was this year as it was last year. But when I went there last, which I think was 2018 or 19, it was still that bar on the side. It was kind of like its own self-contained thing. Could hold maybe 200 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we did. I remember that was the first year they did the boiler room set there.
Yeah,
that was the first Canadian boiler room, first BC boiler room set. I think was at that stage, and the fact that they expanded it and it was crammed full, probably.
At least 70% of the time.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think, like, at least 1,000 people. It was holding 1,000 people pretty easily.
Wow.
If not more. Maybe even 2. And the previous version of that stage was maybe a couple hundred.
Yeah, it was very tiny.
Yeah, because I remember if there was a good DJ there'd be lineups for people to get in, and some people couldn't get in.
And they'd be standing outside. I remember that. Yeah, I never wanted to go over there as well, because I was like, ooh, tight crowd.
There wasn't. There wasn't.
Not really my scene.
There really wasn't that much reason to go there.
Yeah.
And I think part of their expansion to get it to like the 6,000 or whatever. Alleged people was having that bigger stage set up to be able to facilitate having and that running and sleigh bay cabin
as well, because I really admired, even when I was standing on the side and I was watching at Cantina, I could hear it so very well and so very clearly. It was good. You could still feel the bass, and whereas previous setups, I feel like if you're on the side or on the stage or anything like that, it was
smaller sound for sure.
Yeah, you just couldn't hear anything. It's like, what's the point of being here?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think those for me were my 3 standout sets as far as music is concerned. There was a lot of good music the whole time, so by far and away not the only good sets, but for sure those were the ones that were like uniquely stood out and were remarkable beyond what you would expect. I think.
The non-musical music fest.
I mean, it is a music festival, but
we're ragging on it a little bit because it can get kind of weird.
Yeah, it definitely can get kind of weird.
You're up, kid.
I really had a good time at Rumpus and then Justin Martin after. I had fun at Closey.
Closey was great, yeah.
Closey was great. We saw Mark Whittier, saw Sivs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, just kind of floated around, followed people around for the most of it. Other than that, this is like a year I didn't look at the schedule at all, and I was like, I'm just filling up my social battery at this point. I've seen everyone here so many times.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love seeing him again, but I'm not going to make like an effort to go see somebody that I've seen 100 times if like it's just gonna be me alone. I was like, you guys know me, I've been kind of a recluse lately, so I was like, let's go try and be social with my friends. So it was good. That was my highlight, just like reconnecting with some people and
I did a lot of floating myself too. There's sometimes I would abandon the group and just run into people or whatever.
I really liked that part too, is like I didn't look at the schedule much at all. I knew when we wanted to go see, Silva was on Saturday and then Closey on Friday and then Justin Martin on Sunday. So I had those three those are the ones.
I just rely on my friends to be like, oh, we're going. I'm like, perfect. I wanted to see them anyway. So let's go.
We've all got the same taste, so inevitably somebody's going to be there. You know, the joke is like, okay, well, if you're on your own, go to front left and you'll find all the friends. Is like kind of the running gag. But like
hanging out at the river, I really enjoyed that, and like going around checking out the shops, checking out the booths. I love that shit. Putting on cute outfits. That's like one of my favorite parts.
Well, like that's the thing too, is like we were saying last episode, is like everyone is literally a walking art piece. Everyone looks incredible. Everyone's fucking hot and sexy, and they got their things out, their tits and their things, and, their bits and their bobs, and they look amazing. And like that's really what I really enjoyed this year too, is like some of my highlights are, one, I really put time and effort into my outfits, and like I wanted like a curated like kind of look. I had my hair, I had my little outfit on, and I felt sexy and cute as I was running around, and I've never really
time. And I don't know, just like the stories that you overhear and like the interactions you have, like it came across in conversation a few times with friends. Oh yeah, like this might be my last festival or like my last Basscoast. It's starting to become like a lot more effort than it used to be, and we don't necessarily have the energy for it. And sometimes we're like, why are we here? But like there's certain things at festivals that like you're not gonna get that anywhere else. Like these like the most crazy coincidences and stories and just I don't know. I love all the storytelling, and I love
synchronicities,
and it's just random weird stuff you see, like this guy coming down to the river with a mini toilet plunger just stuck on his butt cheek, and it's really on his cheek.
It was literally like
and he's just shaking, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, that guy has a toilet plunger stuck on his butt
and
cheek.
It's like we're looking at it with our eyeballs, but we can't believe
he's
it's
just
real.
Casually like takes it off, puts it on the ground so he can go swimming. He's got this big red suction ring on his butt cheek.
Like,
and it's just so casual, and everybody's
it's so
just
normal.
Getting so weird, and like it's so creative. I don't know, and I love that stuff. You're walking by and you have the most random thing in common with somebody. I don't know, it feels really magical, and that's what I love so much about festivals. That's like the main reason I like to go to these things, because that's just never going to happen anywhere else. It's really not going to happen somewhere else.
Fully butt naked with a toilet plunger stuck their ass. I mean, there are times that might happen. But
get arrested.
Exactly. Like.
And that's only going to happen at the type of festival that Shambhala or Basscoast is.
Yes.
Where it's all about not just the music experience, the concert experience, but the self-expression experience.
Freedom
so
of
many
expression.
stories. Like I went up to this one guy and he had a totem. He's like, this is my first music festival ever. Somebody gave me this really long stick and told me like, go make a totem out of it. I was like, what's a totem? So like throughout the festival, he just kind of walked around other people's camps and asked people to help him decorate his totem. And he's got this like gorgeous professional totem. It's got fairy lights wrapped around it with a battery pack so you can turn it on or off. It's got vines and flowers. It had somebody's driver's license like stuck on it, because this guy's like, I'm not gonna need it. That's what he said, and that was his contribution. So it's just like so random. Literally somebody's driver's license, and it's not even expired yet. It's just like, I can contribute this, I won't need it. And he's going up the totem, and he's like, someone contributed the prize on top was a taxidermy chicken. Like, it's just so random.
It's so random.
And he's
like
got
somebody
this totem,
brought a taxidermy chicken.
It's a gorgeous totem, and you just like, you can tell people like really put some thought and work into like making it look really good. The way they stuck the ID on the totem, like, is so secure. And
the totem is literally a child of the festival.
Actually, though, born and raised,
and
thrust
and
into
this gorgeous like chicken. Like, someone's just like, I'm gonna bring my taxidermy chicken to the festival.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Somebody might need it,
because that's never gonna happen. Like anywhere else.
No other music
festival.
festival.
He's so excited about his totem. He's got this story. We're all sitting there like, like so amazed, like going over all the details of it, and he's got a story for each thing.
That's amazing.
I just think that stuff is really cool. That's what I love about these festivals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
So funny.
That's
and I think the thing is because of those magical things, a lot of people feel the urge to have to go every year because it's the phone. Well, what are these magical random things I'm never gonna see if I don't go?
Yeah.
And then they get to that point where you're talking about with the people who are like, oh, this is gonna be my last one. It's you're getting burnt out because you're going to every single one. You know,
and the magic kind of fades a little bit too because
I don't know.
What do you don't know about?
Yeah, but you don't go to every single one.
Yeah, I went to one last year and one this year, and still I was like, oh god.
I mean, I will
so
probably
unprepared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably go as much as I can for Basscoast. Like I said, Shambhala will probably be my last year. That's just way too much.
I agree. Basscoast is neat.
But Basscoast is manageable. It's doable. It's beautiful. It's well organized.
I don't know, like out of province. I kind of want to try like Electric Forest or something like that. I feel like it would be similar vibes.
I think that's in Minnesota. Somebody was
saying.
Alberta. Alberta. Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is in Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm calling.
Yeah, I definitely want to do out of country stuff.
Yeah, I did Lightning in a Bottle years ago. Like that was super cool.
Shambhala for me is going to be hyper.
Yeah, I've done Envision a couple times.
Shambhala for me is going to be hyper reliant on the lineup. The lineup will decide it for me. And this year it's still. It's not as good as it can be. People will say it's a great lineup. It's a great lineup compared to last year. But it's just, you know, especially considering how much it costs, how much the effort. I know they can do better.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've been to it. I know they can do better.
Yes.
And it'll get there again. I'm sure it will. Yeah. I just don't. Last year was like it's the first one after COVID, so I thought that the energy would be awesome, the vibe would be great, and it was fine. I mean. It was not as good as I hoped it would be, but you know, a lot of that was the lineup to be honest. I mean, there was 8 to 10 hours periods of time where there's no good music as far as I was concerned.
Everything's playing.
At least not any music that I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And it's like I would go, there's 6 stages and 4 of them are playing drum and bass and 2 of them are playing, you know, some other crap that I don't want to hear, some bass music, and then the Grove is playing some like, you know, super hyper esoteric like beeps and bops or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, there's no good music right now. Great. And
I guess
8 hours later,
walk.
there's still no good music. Yeah. Awesome. You know, and it's at a place with that many stages, that's unacceptable.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's unacceptable.
All right, so before we move on, I'll tell you my highlights. Yeah. So my highlights were those 3 that I mentioned. So first being Closey. So highlights and complaints at the same time.
Sure.
So I felt like they always do it this way, or the past 3 years that I've witnessed. They do day 1 is a little bit more low energy.
Yeah.
Day 2 is medium energy, and then day 3 is they save all the big stuff, the big house tunes for that day. What I would love to see is just a normal lineup. Is just a normal. You start at sunset, and you build up the energy at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the big energy stuff. 4, 5, 6, 7, or whenever it closes is like the melodic, this progressive, everything like that. But I feel like a lot of the artists were kind of like, somebody said it was like a dice shuffle and just like, okay, let's just throw everybody wherever. So Closey was amazing. Yeah. Loved it. Beautiful set. I loved all of her stuff. But I felt like she just kind of stopped the energy at one point and was like, this is my new song. And I'm like, girl, it's 12 p.m. Keep it going.
I hate when they talk. I hate it when they talk.
Please, like, if you're going to say anything like, this is my new song, just throw it in there.
You know what? Everybody here's your fan. They're going to know they've never heard this song before. You don't need to say it.
Find it later.
Let them try to Shazam it and get no ID and be like, maybe it's a new song.
Whoa, and have them speculate.
Don't need to tell them it's a new song.
Tickle their little balls a little bit. You don't need to slap
That's a low self-esteem move. Nobody cares nobody cares enough that you have to stop the music for them to
literally
say that.
Stop the entire. I'm like, beautiful set, babe, but like, please keep it going. Anyway, she was on at like 10 p.m. I would have loved to see her a little bit later. So that was a highlight for me. Another highlight was Sivs, DJ Sivs, my girl. Love her to death. I am biased 100%. I wish she would have played for longer. And I was able to get a little bit of photo video access. So it was really cool being able to be an itty bitty unofficial little part of the photo video, all the clips that I got and stuff like that. But just to have the lucky experience of being able to be a tiny little part of that festival too, and be there on stage when she was playing, and take pictures of her, and go to the other sets and the other places around that you could go and take photos and videos, and just be a little teeny part of the making of Basscoast was definitely a highlight for me.
I could see you playing there in 3 years.
Would love. I would love nothing
maybe
more.
not like some main set or anything,
No.
but like, you know,
oh my god, I'll take anything.
An opener at the cantina on a Friday.
On a Thursday.
Yeah.
Within 3 years would be a long. That'd be a long time. I think.
Yeah,
I think it'd be even sooner.
Counting my lucky stars, I want to work so, and that's also what inspires me too. Is like being able to see the behind the scenes of a festival like this, and how beautiful it is, and how much all the artists love being there. Like, I didn't hear a bad word from the artist perspective. Like, maybe they could have provided a couple more riders. I don't know, that sort of thing. But, like, literally everybody is so excited to participate and be at the festival. It just inspires me so much more to produce music and learn more and grow my craft and everything like that.
You need that inspiration sometimes, too, right? When you're in the same, like, routines at home all the time. And you're not necessarily, like, you know, you're being really consistent with your efforts and stuff like that, but then going and being immersed in it, like, this is what could happen. Like, it just makes you want to come home.
The possibility is like right there. And
I honestly don't think you need to be, even because I remember people saying you have to be producing to get there. But if we just take a look,
still inspires me.
But the thing is, if we take a look at Roos's set, I don't think she produced anything.
No,
I think she's just a DJ.
Fair enough.
So I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility that you would go there just as a DJ. You know what I mean?
I mean, DJ gods, if you're listening, I would love nothing more.
I would have a stroke on the D floor if you were. Oh my god,
I would love that. I would love that.
I honestly don't even think it's I don't even think it's a pipe dream.
Really?
I think if you keep attacking the things that you're doing right now, you're playing so often.
And you're networking.
Yeah. You know, maybe 3 years might be, you know, a tiny bit ambitious, but I don't think so. Just the way you're going.
I mean, I'm here. I'm prepared to
you know,
work.
again, I'm
so
not
inspired.
thinking. I'm not thinking it's going to be like.
She's already crying.
I'm not saying you're going to be like a headliner on a Saturday night.
God, no.
But to be one of just somebody on the lineup, I think that's very much
Would
in
love
play.
nothing more. Yeah. So that little bit of inspiration just like really inspired me to like, I want to keep starting to produce, and like I'm just learning everything now. Okay. So like that was a major like, wow, I want to be a part of this, you know. So that and then my last highlight. Okay, I looked up his name. His name is, drumroll please, Christian Laufer. Christian Laufer.
Okay.
And
that was a sunrise set.
That was a sunrise set at 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. Monday morning.
Was that also slow tempo, or was that different?
No, that was at the cabin. They're shutting down the entire festival. That was the last one, and he put on the most beautiful melodic set, and it was about 2 hours.
Oh, I'm sad I missed that.
Oh my god, incredible! Well, that was the one you messaged me. I messaged you about that one. I think I put in the chat.
I think was I asleep?
I feel like you were asleep at that point because all the music
wasn't it at 6, not 4? Maybe it went from 4.
I think maybe I was asleep at that point.
It ended at 6:45. It's supposed to end at 6:30, and they came up. I could see them. The manager came up to him and said, "You can extend for 15 more minutes." It was that good, and I was standing there like dying, like just a little leaf on the wind, but like.
Yeah, like, my body was definitely like I wanted to keep going, but I was suffering. From top to bottom, I was suffering.
So Sunday earlier at 10 p.m. So that was Rufus. Then Justin Martin played, and everybody was there. All the friends were there. We were dancing and laughing and getting silly and weird. So like that was another highlight. But this closing set from Christian was so good. He's apparently, I could be wrong, a DJ from Munich, Germany. They flew him in, and about 2.5 hour set, and just the waves. It felt like just a wave of emotion, and you built and grew this beautiful emotion. Ended with a beautiful crescendo, and then into another just like different feeling. It evoked so many.
I'm very sad I missed that.
Very many feelings.
We'll be also listening to it later, right? Like on.
I hope so.
I don't know if they necessarily have recordings.
They might not, or something. Because he had a little thing that you could do different sounds with. Don't know what they're called.
The Ableton pad or whatever it is.
Ableton pad, something like that. And then he had 2 decks for sure. And everybody in the crowd was loving it. It was so cool because at Cabin there's this huge, what's it called, diamond thing? Like there's a huge
like a chandelier.
Yeah, chandelier in the shape of a diamond. And you know, when he was crescendoing, somebody would spin it and it would reflect all the light and everything, and you could see the sunrise coming up too. And because Dust Coast. There was so much dust that you could see the rays of sun coming up too. It was just like magical. I was standing there in awe, like, this is possible? It's crazy. Wow, that's beautiful. And I'm sad that I had to wait until Sunday at 4:30 in the morning to get that.
I gotta drive in a couple hours.
Why not do that same set at like 9 p.m. at Sleigh Bay?
Friday 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Friday 4 a.m. I'm so here for it. Absolutely.
Sure, Friday 4 a.m. Why not? Yeah, but like this end of Sunday, like exactly, people are gonna drive.
Yeah. People want to drive.
I've already been on my feet for 4 days. Like
like, unreal.
I was literally aching in pain.
Same.
I think I
from
could
top to bottom.
Down to the bone. My feet
step to step.
Ruined.
That was all I could do. I was like, I love this so much. I wish
like
I
my
could
back
dance
was
more.
sore. Like my knees were kind of hurting.
I saw people getting massages there. I was like, I could really go for a massage.
You have to book
I
those
really
like
wanted
on
to walk
Thursday.
around with a sign that said, "Will pay a wook $50 to rub my feet." Like I really thought about it because I know a wook would take up that offer.
So quick.
For sure, my feet
$50
were
and what's left of my pay for a massage. Like,
what do you want? I'll give it to you. I'll give you anything at this point. Oh, just dying. But like, and then when they extended for 15 minutes, I turned to my friend and I was like, we can last 15 more minutes, right? Like, please.
At some point, I would need a wheelchair.
Actually, no.
And
we were
just to sit and listen to the music, but not dance. Like, just sit.
Just enjoy it. Just sit there. It was so beautiful. So that was definitely like the highlight. Those couple things were my highlights, and just the feeling that I got after leaving Basscoast, minus the 4-hour lineup, to get home. Not 4-hour lineup, but the
traffic stop.
Yeah.
Accident.
That was the most horrific thing to witness. I didn't witness the accident. I didn't see it, but just to see them trying to save these people's lives was just such a contrast. You know, you're leaving the festival and all these big, beautiful emotions, and I'm all packed up, ready to go, and then I don't know what it was. We don't know. I don't know if there's any evidence to, or like what the official word is, but me and my car were rolling along, got stopped, not even 100 meters, and we could see there was 2 cars wedged underneath the dump truck, and then apparently 2 more cars in front. And when they put up the privacy screens, that's when you know they didn't make it. So that was very sad. Very sad. And crazy to witness after that huge.
Yeah, but I mean, that goes to what Maria was saying. Like, people have got to leave. You're doing these parties all the way till like 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
and you expect people to like
roll
not be
by 10 a.m. It's too hot to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to pack up your tent and everything before it gets way too hot.
Exactly.
So
that's exactly what it was. That's why I went to bed earlier, is because I was like, I'd rather just get ahead of it and be up in the morning, pack before it gets too hot to pack, and then just get out, and it just doesn't make it. It's not intelligent planning.
No. When
you know it's going to be hot, you know everybody's going to be wasted the previous day, and you're like, well, have somebody responsible, blah blah blah. What kind of fairyland you're going to be into? Like, on the last night, it should be done at 3 a.m. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
They should have switch it around. So have all the chill stuff on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Have all the heavy stuff on the Friday.
Saturday.
People are so amped up too. Like, they went on the ride up there. They're like, let's go.
Totally.
By Sunday, I was like, I'm just in my comfies at this point.
Exactly.
And then it's just Martin and Rufus,
Yeah.
and you have all these big, huge, amazing house. Right.
Yeah, Rumpus, yeah.
But like, it was, and very, very clearly, the people who had passed away were coming from Basscoast, because they had all their camping stuff in the car. They had all their festival gear. You knew when you
and it's preventable.
This
kind of stuff is preventable. There's no reason, to have all these people partying till the edge of the morning, and then you have to leave on the Monday.
Unacceptable. At this
even
point.
Shambhala's like, just stay the next day. We're gonna be open till Tuesday. Yeah. Everything will be open till Tuesday
or even
night.
Wednesday even. Some people stay for days afterwards.
And that's one thing that Shambhala does right, and they didn't do this all the time, but they did this the last time I was there. Is they're like, just stay. Yeah. Just stay the extra day.
And that's okay. That's
Sleep
what they
in,
should
recover,
be doing.
we know you're partying till 7 a.m.
and
or whatever.
It's hot. It's impossible to sleep. Your drugs have probably not left your system. Yeah. Because that's the way drugs work. Yep. And if
forget the drugs. The sleep deprivation.
Yeah. Sleep alone.
Like, the sleep deprivation alone, because even if you're not trying to party till 7 a.m., there's so much noise, you're not getting great rest anyway. No. And then again, like you said, it gets so hot by like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep in your tent anyway. Even if you've got shade part of the day, it's not going to be there the whole day. No. So you got to pick and choose your moments.
Anyways, and having a good full night's rest with no crazy sound, no crazy parties, and then being able to leave the next day. Like these people who go to these who go to Basscoast for sure, have the time and have the energy. Not everyone, I'm saying, but like if you want to do it responsible, they have the time, they can take it off. It's not like you have to rush back to your job the next day. Like if I'm looking around these people and a lot of them have money. They're doing okay.
If you can book off like the 5-6 days, you can just book off one more.
Yeah, you can book off one more, and honestly, your life is worth that.
Yeah, but Basscoast would not have had. There's no showers available. There's no vendors available. There's nothing available for that Tuesday. No. Even halfway through Monday, that's all like
it's all shut up and
I would definitely say that they should be
However,
things should be done by 3 a.m. Done.
Yeah, after this year and seeing that horrific scene right, and the 2 helicopters. This is I'm a paralegal and my specialty is MVA. Yeah. I know this. Yeah. I've seen it. I literally have documents. This is probably a $1 to $2 million accident. Yeah. Easily because of all the care, everything that showed up, 2 helicopters, rescue system, all the police, everything like that, all these resources to stop traffic. And we sat there for 4 hours watching them try and save their lives. Yeah. And alas, when it goes south, when everybody stops hurrying. Yeah. So. Yeah. After this year, I hope someone from Basscoast is listening, or I hope somebody gets word to them, because they'll have to know.
I also think it's a great idea, like what Rhea said, what you guys both said. Just go in the beginning. Yeah. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Insane.
Crazy. You know
what? You don't have to change
from Friday, from Friday, whenever the party starts, till Saturday, halfway through the day, just go nonstop.
That's fine.
Go nonstop.
Yeah. Nobody's sleeping those times anyway. People are literally running around on Sunday like, I got 3 hours of sleep all weekend.
And I'm like a fun activity. Yeah. How much sleep did you get?
Go crazy till like Sunday morning. Then maybe have a little break in between. Then just do Sunday night. Yeah. Well, last hurrah, but end it at 3.
Marshall is even saying wow, I can't believe that they stopped the music. Bless them. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. But go hard, go ham, put all the big heavy headliners, and then have the chill, more intimate baritone, closey, melodic, Christensen, Christian or whatever his name is. Have it all that on Sunday so you can wind down, decompress. And then everybody can sleep and go home responsibly and make it home.
Yeah. I don't even think it needs to be 3 days.
I like the 3 days. I like it. But you're right. It doesn't
just enough. 4, too much. 3 is I'm oh, okay.
2 is I
set up. The third day for me was, and it always is, it's just a physical struggle. Yeah. It's just a physical struggle.
I definitely had to pace myself.
Literally at one point I was just sitting in a dust storm at Karina's camp and it's just going around like a tornado and all I did was just close my eyes so it doesn't get in my eyes. I'm just sitting in there what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I? I'm sitting in a human litter box, everybody's just as soon as nightfall everyone's just anywhere and I'm just sitting there. You can see the tornadoes of dust coming in. Yeah, it sticks to the whites of your eyes, and then you get those black eye boogers.
Your nose is
nose booger.
I feel like I'm still physically energy wise in my lungs, my breathing, I feel like I'm still dealing with the
Oh
dust.
yeah, I'm exhausted still for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you don't recover for the next week or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it shouldn't take that long. A couple, like for me, usually a day or two back in the city, I should be fine. And today was just such a struggle. I feel like in the last 3 days, I've done a third of a day's worth of productivity, and even by my standards, I do not have a life. I'm very unproductive. So for me to say I've accomplished a third of what I normally would do in one day over 3 days, that is atrocious.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. I'm breathing air that should go to somebody else. That's how bad it is. Like it's just atrocious. Yeah, I just that dust, I think, fucked me up.
It is what it is. I mean, if you're gonna go there and set up and it's 2 hours away and you spend all the time and money, I think 3 days is good. I think they should rearrange the schedule.
3 days in an RV.
Next let's do it!
I don't want to hear none of your lip. Oh, I can't hear it. And then you spend like all this money on nonsense when you get there.
Like $200 earrings, $200
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah. Imagine that $500 to an RV.
Girls,
I'm not complaining about the price. Honestly, I was just kind of scared. I'm scared of driving in RVs. That's what the...
We have a master RV driver.
I've had 3 RVs.
There's a big
no
hill
incidents.
that goes down to Merrit. I don't know. You saw the accident.
Okay, they were
scared.
Cars and a truck.
And it was at the end.
Totally different.
Yeah.
End of the festival. You drive slow,
we'll
you drive
next
normal.
year.
I've owned 3 RVs with 0 incidents. So
what?
All
I
right,
know how to drive
let's
them.
go.
Let's do
Big
it
or
next
small,
year.
it doesn't matter. I know how to drive them. It's fine.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's our plan for next year.
Yeah, and, you know,
final.
I don't know if I'll do I don't know if I'll do Basscoast next year, but Shambhala will be lineup dependent. But I definitely want to do
Basscoast over anything else.
Yeah,
100%.
I think if I was gonna say my percentage chance of Basscoast next year be at least 50%, and Shambhala 30%.
Shambhala
But
next year,
what I definitely want to do, and I'm really highly, and this is a sidetrack a little bit. I definitely want to do Paradise Blue again. For sure.
What is that?
Tell us.
That's the one in
more.
Cancun that I went to this
Okay,
that
I'm so down to go to
gorgeous.
Mexico.
Yeah,
let's
I feel like
do
none of
it.
our friends are down to go travel somewhere. Like, we're doing the same stuff every year.
I know Tyree and Luna are 100% down.
I'm down.
Alia would be down again because that's what I went with.
Yeah.
Maybe even Minxie might be down again. I don't know. I think
Who knows?
people are gonna look at the price and they're gonna be like, oh. But if you think about how much it costs to do these other festivals, like I easily spent. And that's not doing Shamba Lodging or whatever their version of it is at Basscoast.
Yeah.
Not doing VIP anything, not doing any special treatment anything. That festival still probably cost me $1,000 easily.
Yeah.
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 Easily.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Shambhala
more.
Way more. Because I got Shamba Lodging too.
Oh yeah.
And Shamba Lodging with your gas expenses, all that other shit, blah blah blah. It was at least $2,300.
I'm down to go to Mexico.
If Paradise Blue costs you $2,000, but all your food, drinks, everything's taken care of.
That does sound.
You don't need an RV because you're in a hotel room.
Yeah. Let's
You know what
go.
I mean?
with
When
air
is it?
conditioning.
When
Let's
is
go.
I don't know. I still haven't seen when they're announcing it because it just happened 2 months ago.
Okay.
But something like that. That same resort, Cascade and Dead Mouse are doing a festival there too.
Oh, that'd be
that could be an option
I know
as
that
well.
Rufus Du Sol has
So
like a
good.
festival that they do in Mexico.
At an all resort,
that'd be
all inclusive.
cool.
I mean,
I'm not
probably.
sure.
I would do it. I would definitely try that out. 100%.
Either way, I definitely, because we've done
Down
these
to do
local
it.
ones many times.
Yeah.
I think
We
a new.
throw our
I
own.
would rather do less local ones and save up for one
I'm in the
international
same
one.
One bigger one.
Yeah, maybe not even bigger, but
Yeah.
just an international one because it would be bigger on the expense scale, obviously.
You get different artists too. Like you hear a lot of the same sounds here, which is great. We love them, but hearing different sounds
who
and
knows?
going
Maybe we go to
countries.
Europe. Maybe we go to Croatia. Maybe we go to Mexico. Maybe
I would
I don't know.
love to do Croatia Yacht Week. Silva had nothing. Silva went and she played there actually to DJ Sivs.
Yeah.
And she said it was amazing. Couldn't get enough of it. Would go again. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That one or Movement I think is mostly more of like a tech house festival or something like that.
Sure.
Techno tech house.
Either way, I think I mean my takeaway with this Basscoast was it was the best Basscoast I've ever been to.
Same. Ditto that.
Yeah, it was definitely
I spent time
a
with
positive
you
experience.
I spent time with you.
Yeah, definitely a positive experience.
I wish we honestly spent more together, and that's why I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go Shambhala. Hopefully, there's
Come to
No boys that need my attention. Some guy always needs my attention.
Oh.
And,
yeah, we'll work on that.
Say no.
Double fingers.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do all the things. I would love nothing more.
We'll wrap it up here, mate.
To do so many things in so many places.
Brian said get an Airbnb for Basscoast. That's not a terrible idea.
Yeah. We're looking at comments here from Twitch. Join us on Twitch next week. Every week. Wednesdays. Around 7 p.m. Roundabouts. We'll see what happens.
We're
it's a work in progress, fam.
Yeah.
If anybody has any suggestions on when they would like to do it. There we go. When we got Waters Away in the chat before you know it, Brian. We got Trip and Fell. Hello. Control Delete. Nice to see you guys. Wikipedia. We got Daryl in the house. Ill Behavior.
Daryl.
Coca Gomez. We're just reading the chat here. Well, that's it from us, I think, this week. Thank you guys.
Thank you
so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
You want to scroll all the way down? I think somebody wrote something nice to us. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for listening and being here. We will be back next Wednesday. I'm going to stream on Sunday is my next streaming day. No Sunday scaries, melodic, progressive, techno, vibes. Do you want to play right now? Do you want to do some
We could do a little bit. Yeah.
You want to play?
We could do a little bit.
What are you going
I bought a new USB and reloaded it. I lost my USB at Basscoast.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't even use it.
I've got two more. Oh, I've got two if you want to.
No, it's fine. I bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't get a fancy one. I just got a $25 USB 3.0 one.
The life of a DJ. Always buying USBs. Thank you so much. I needed that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm going to turn off the stream, and then I will be back in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're going to let me into the parkade?
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Or, I mean, see ya.
See ya.